Hello, welcome to a new video. Today it is a recommendations video. A recommendations video for what, you may ask? Well, if you don't know, I am a co-host for Team Damon on the Vampire Diaries Readathon taking place in September. This readathon is created by Chloe from Chloe Reads Books, and there are two hosts for Team Damon, me and Chloe, and then two hosts for Team Stefan, which is Naomi and Lucy. So I thought I would do some recommendations for all the prompts because there are 10 prompts and I have a lot of recommendations. This is not even my full list of recommendations, but I was like, I don't want this video to be like too long. So I thought I would give you like, I think there's like 5 or 6 for each. So yeah, what I will say, some of these books, I'm going to mention that they fit more than one prompt. You cannot double up or triple up or anything on this readathon, but for example, if I give you a book that fits Clock Tower, but you've already found a book that fits Clock Tower, but the book also fits Wickery Bridge, then you can use it for Wickery Bridge instead. So I just want to give people options. So yeah, so let's just get stuck in. So the first prompt is Clock Tower, read a book with a supernatural element. So my recommendations for this are That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemons. This literally has like a demon in it and like supernatural stuff. Need I say more? It's also incredibly smutty and amazing and I love it. It's so good and I highly recommend it. This would also count for Forbes House as well and Gilbert House. Next up, we have all 3 books that I've currently read by F.T. Lukens. So we have In Deeper Waters, we have So This Is Ever After, and we have Spellbound. These all fit Clock Tower. They all have supernatural elements. They all have either like witches or mermaids or like mages. So they all have a supernatural element. They would all count for Gilbert House as well because they're all romances. And I'm gonna say that So This Is Ever After would count for Mystic Grill because their friendships play a huge part in that book. There is a whole friendship group and it's just beautiful. So yeah, the next book is The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon. This one has like, they're not witch, I don't know how to describe, but there's like some sort of magic in this which fits the supernatural element. This will also count for Gilbert House. Next we have Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. This will also count for Gilbert House, and the first book, Serpent and Dove, counts for Mystic Falls Cemetery because it has a black and gold cover. The second book in this series, Blood and Honey, if that's the one that you're up to, has a party in it. So that would count for Forbes House. They all count for Gilbert House because they all have like romance in it. And I would say all 3 of these count for Salvatore Boarding House because they all have a historical setting. Next, we have The Reckless Afterlife of Harriet Stoker by Lauren James. This book is incredible. This has ghosts in it. It's so good. I would say this also counts for Mystic Grill because there's some really nice friendships in it. And also, I'm going to say Mystic Falls Cemetery because whilst it's not like a black cover, it's a dark green. So it's a really dark colour. So I think that counts. And then the final book I'm going to recommend specifically for Clock Tower is The Ghost Tree by Christina Henry. It literally has ghost in the title, but also there is this like weird like supernatural element to it, which I don't want to say too much about because I didn't know anything about it going into it much. So I want to keep that for everyone else. But it's a really good book. I would say this also counts for Wickery Bridge because this has a like, this is kind of like a horror thrillery type supernatural book. And I feel like you could maybe stretch it for Salvatore Boarding House because it is, I don't know if it's actually specified, but it's very much 80s vibes. If you were from the 80s, I apologise. I'm a 90s kid and it hurts saying the decade before mine could count for a historical, but I think it could. Next prompt is Mystic Grill, read a book featuring friendship. So I have got Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. This book literally opens with 2 best friends. that friendship strengthens over the series as well. So yeah, I know this series is not for everyone, but I love it, so I'm going to recommend it. Next, we have All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. This is a very new book to my recommendations because I've only just recently read it, but I loved it. So there is like a big friendship in this, which develops more and more throughout. And there's a really nice development to the friendship in this. So yeah, it would also count for Mystic Falls Cemetery because it's a very dark blue cover. So yeah. Next, we have The Iron Crown by L.L. McRae. I absolutely adore this book. And there is so many different friendships in this book. And it like focuses on a few of those friendships throughout the series. So there's this. This also has a dark cover. So it works for Mystic Falls Cemetery. I don't think it fits any of the other prompts. So we're going to leave it at that one. Next up, if you like comics or graphic novels and you don't want to like heavy fantasy in that, I'm going to give you Giant Days by John Allison. There is like 50 volumes. There's more if you do it in comics rather than volumes. But this is amazing. This is contemporary. It is like it's honestly such a fun time. And it's just a slice of life group of 3 people who meet at uni. And you see their friendship throughout uni and it is just beautiful. I love it. This would also count for Forbes House because almost every single issue has a party because they're a bunch of uni students. So there's always parties. And also you could count this for Mystic Falls High School because it is a school setting because they are literally at university. Then we have The Other Ones by Fran Hart. This is a very cute book where 4 people become the best of friends and it is very adorable. This would also count for Wickery Bridge because it's got a thriller aspect to it. And I'm gonna leave it there. And then the final book I'm going to recommend for Mystic Grill is Stolen Time by Daniel Rollins. So no one talks about this book and it really hurts me because this book is incredible. The whole trilogy is incredible and I feel like more people need to see this. The friendships in this are great. Like, it is literally, I can't say, but there's a whole thing to do with friendship and I'm just, yes. This also would fit Mystic Falls Cemetery because it's a very dark, dark blue. And like, in some lights, it looks like a black cover. So, yeah. Next, we move on to Mystic Falls High School, read a book with a school setting. So first off, we have the Rainbow Grey series by Laura Ellen Anderson. This is literally set in Rainbow Grey's school, the whole series so far. She goes to school in the clouds. And it's a cute middle grade if you want something cute and middle grade-y. Next, we have The Ravens by Danielle Page and Cass Morgan. This is set at a university or college if you're American. So there's your school setting. This would also fit Forbes House because there is a party in it. And I'm going to say Mystic Grill because I do think the friendships are important because it is a sorority. So yeah. Next, we have The Novice by Tara Matharu. This is like, when I first heard of this book, it was marketed as like Pokemon meets Lord of the Rings. There's like adventure and there's these like creatures that you befriend and it's very cute. I love the trilogy. But it's set in a school. He goes to this school where they learn. Yeah. I'm describing this really badly, I'm sorry. Next up we have Small Spaces by Catherine Arden. This literally takes place on a school trip. This is very creepy. I'm going to say this fits for Wickery Bridge because it's got that thriller aspect. Like, yes. I'm going to say it also fits Mystic Falls Cemetery because whilst it has got purple in the cover, it's got a lot of black and like dark, deep purple. So dark cover. Next up, we have The Upside of Falling by Alex Light. This literally, they're classmates and they fake date and it's very cute. I love this book. So obviously this also fits for Gilbert House because it's a romance. And I'm going to say Mystic Grill because they also become friends as well. And then the final book I'm going to recommend for this prompt is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This literally takes place in a school because it is about her going to prom. It will also fit Mystic Grill because there is there's a pretty big friendship in it. It fits Forbes House because a prom is a party. And it is technically a YA romance, so Gilbert House as well. Okay, the next prompt is Salvatore Bordenhouse, read a book with a historical element. I am not one who reads historical. I'm not a massive fan, but I do have some recommendations. So first up, we have Belladonna by Adeline Grace. A very new recommendation, like the other Adeline Grace. This is set, I don't know when it's actually set, but I think it's like the 1800s. So it's definitely historical. Mystic Falls Cemetery, because it has a very dark cover. Forbes House, it literally opens on a party. And I'm going to say Clock Tower because I do think this has a supernatural element to it. I think that's the best way to describe it. Next, we have the entire Last Hours trilogy by Cassandra Clare, and I'm just putting it out there now. If you're taking part in By the Angel Along, September is the final month of By the Angel Along, and we're finishing it off with Chain of Thorns. So whether you've been taking part in By the Angel Along or not, and you need to read Chain of Thorns, this is your chance because it fits this because it is set in the early 1900s. This also fits Mystic Grill because it definitely has friendship. It fits Gilbert House because romance. And you can count this for Mystic Falls because there are vampires in this as well. Like, Lily Chen exists. Next, we have Dangerous Remedy by Kat Dunn. This whole trilogy takes place during the French Revolution, so definitely historical. It also fits Mystic Grill because friendship plays a huge part in this, and Mystic Falls Cemetery because it is definitely a dark cover, and I'm not sure if it fits any of the others. I don't think so. The next one is one I have many editions of, and it is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I was obviously gonna talk about this one. So this one fits quite a few of the prompts. So it definitely fits, obviously, historical element. It very much goes between, she is literally 200-300 years old, and it goes through her entire life, and there's constant flashbacks back and forth between present and past as you get to learn her history. So historical setting, there is supernatural elements because there is literally a devil that she makes a deal with. This would fit Lockwood Mansion, which is popular book. Any V. Schwab book's going to fit that. Read a book with a dark cover. Most of the editions of this are dark covers. Gilbert House because it fits romance. Forbes House because there are parties in it. And I think that's it. So it fits quite a few of those. Next, we have Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerry Maniscalco. So this is set very much in the time of Jack the Ripper, so very much historical. This one's also going to fit Mystic Grill because there's friendship, a huge friendship in this. The second book would fit Mystic Falls High School because it's set in a school. I'm not sure about books 3 and 4, but book 2 definitely fits in a school. They all fit for Mystic Falls Cemetery because they all have dark covers. And yeah. And then the final book I'm going to recommend for this prompt is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This book is beautiful, and this book 100% fits historical element because this is set in medieval Russia. It's beautiful. This would also fit book with a dark cover. And I think that's it for that one. So moving on to the next prompt, it is Lockwood Mansion, read a popular book. I'm not going to recommend any books in particular, but you can pick from basically, I'm going to just list some authors that I've read. Sarah J. Maas, Cassandra Clare, Ali Hazelwood, Tessa Bailey, Jay Kristoff, Bridget Kemmerer, V.E. Schwab, Samantha Shannon. They are all very popular authors, so take your pick. The next prompt is Wickery Bridge, read a thriller. So first up is the Good Girls Guide to Murder series by Holly Jackson. This is a YA thriller series. Do check the trigger warnings, especially for the later books, because it does get very dark, but it is incredible. I absolutely love the ending to this, and it was just phenomenal. This also fits Mystic Grill. It also fits Mystic Falls High School for the first book. I would say this counts as a popular book as well. So yeah, quite a few there. Next up is The Island by C.L. Taylor. This is a YA thriller again. This is so good. I was really shocked at how much I enjoyed this. It had some great twists and turns that you want from a thriller, and it was just great. This would also fit Mystic Falls Cemetery because it is a mostly black cover. Next up is Stillhouse Lake by Rachel Kane. This is an adult thriller. This is incredible. I am actually considering reading the next book in this series for this prompt. We shall see. But this would also fit Mystic Falls Cemetery because it has a dark cover. And honestly, I think that might be it. I don't think it's going to fit any others. Next, we have Something is Killing the Children by James Tynion IV. So if you want a graphic novel series, this is like horror thriller. I will say, if you don't like horror, don't pick this up. It has Stranger Things vibes, but it's great. It also counts for Mystic Falls Cemetery because it has a dark cover. Clock Tower because it definitely has a supernatural element because there's these weird demon type creatures. And I think that's it for the prompts it fits. Next up, we have The King is Dead by Benjamin Dean. This is 100% a thriller. It's a YA thriller mystery type book. It also... Oh, I don't think it fits any of the others. I don't think it fits any of the others. Okay. And then the final one on this prompt is The Boy Band Murder Mystery by Ava Eldred. This is another YA thriller. As you can tell, I don't read a lot of adult thrillers. This is another YA thriller. This also counts for... This will also work for Mystic Grill. Friendship is a big part of this. And I think that's it. Moving on to Mystic Falls Cemetery, read a book with a dark cover. I am not actually going to recommend anything here because just look at your shelves. Anything with the dark cover works. Obviously, I've mentioned a few work for it, for ones that I'm already recommended, but there's no specific ones to recommend here. The next one is Gilbert House Read a Romance. So I'm straight up just going to say anything by Ali Hazelwood, anything by Julie Kaplan, anything by Sarah Hogle, Casey McQuiston. There are so many romance authors that I would recommend, but individual books as well. I would say This Is What Happy Looks Like by Jennifer E. Smith is a very cute YA romance. XOXO by Axio, again a very cute YA romance. Also, if you're a fan of K-pop, you will most likely like this as well. And then also If This Gets Out by Sophie Gonzalez and Cal Dietrich. I love this one. This also works for Mystic Grill as well, because they're all friends in the band. So yeah. The next prompt is Forbes House, read a book with a party in it. This was really hard actually to remember what books have parties in it. So first up is Imogen Obviously by Becky Albertalli. This one, she goes to visit her friend who's already at uni and they go to parties. So it has parties. One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston has a big party at the end. Die Volume 1 by, is it Kieran Gillen? I think it's Kieran Gillen. Yeah, Kieran Gillen. This is stretching the prompt slightly. This is a D&D party. And I think that's a really great way of stretching it. It works really well and I'm happy with that recommendation. Cinder by Marissa Meyer, I'm pretty sure has a party. Yeah, it definitely does because it's a Cinderella retelling. What am I going on about? Yeah, this has a party. Geekerella by Ashley Poston, and actually the second book as well takes place at conventions and there are parties at conventions. And then Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. School kids, they have parties, they have proms, it's all there. And then the final prompt is Mystic Falls, read a vampire book. So I'm going to say right now, the Crave series by Tracy Wolfe. Vampires, werewolves, gargoyles, dragons, all of that good stuff. It's great. I love it. The Morganville Vampire series by Rachel Kane is a little bit dated, but I still absolutely love it and will recommend it because it's awesome. It's a big series, but it's a very quick series as well. And I'm going to recommend it still. The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. No one ever recommends this book. And I feel like it's a very underrated book considering Holly Black is such a big author. So I'm saying this because it's a great vampire book. We have Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. Obviously, I was putting this on here, especially with the second book coming out next year. This is great. This is an adult vampire as well, an adult vampire book, and it is so good. Next we have the Buffy series. So this is a graphic novel series and it crosses over with the Angel series, but it's like a reboot. It's like Buffy but modern. Like she literally has a mobile phone in her hand in the like first volume. So yeah, like she is literally Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There's vampires in it. She's slaying them. And then the final book I'm going to recommend is Vampires of Moscow by Chaos Knight. This series is incredible. The first one is vampires. This novella is sirens. The second one is witches. Everything about this. These also work for supernatural element as well, obviously. So yeah, they are my recommendations. A lot of them crossover. There is a lot of crossover. I hope I've managed to help you fit at least one prompt. That would be great. If you have any recommendations for books you think would fit any of these prompts, let me know in the comments below, because it might help me or someone else who's reading the comments out. And make sure you go and check out the announcement video for all the rules and everything, all the descriptions, because Chloe is great. I'm very excited to be a part of this and I can't wait to film my TBR. I'm so excited. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.